Peace, y'all. It's your boy Johnny Fastlane here with allhiphop.com. So, Quavo fights against gun violence. Let's talk hip hop. Alright, Joe, this situation is pretty dope, right? Because Quavo is taking a stand against gun violence. So yesterday, he was at the Congressional Black Caucus in Washington, D.C. He met with a few lawmakers privately. It wasn't advertised. He also met with the Vice President, Kamala Harris, to speak about gun violence, right? And basically, you guys know the whole situation, man. Back in November, Takeoff was shot and killed. This is almost a year ago now. At a bowling alley in Houston, right? Quavo was there, right? And so Quavo did an interview on the news where he says he's a survivor. It could have been him too who was there. So he launched the Rocket Man Foundation for Quavo. But then also he's trying to combat gun violence. He says that he's at a halfway point with it, right? He wants to figure out how you can stop certain people who misuse guns from even getting guns themselves, right? He says that cops have guns too, and sometimes they don't use it the right way either. And he says that there are a lot of people in the community and the culture that have been lost to not only gun violence, but police brutality through guns as well. So he just wants to do something, right? He says that he is alive for a reason, that he survived that night for a reason, so that now one of his callings is to stand up against gun violence so that, you know, it doesn't happen to the masses is what he says, right? He feels like he has a responsibility towards the culture for this, and it kind of seems a little bit like survivor's remorse as well, because it seems like Quavo feels like, damn, man, that mighta shoulda been me, right? I mean, as you guys know, the whole situation happened because Quavo was arguing with like J. Prince Jr., something like that, and Takeoff was just an innocent bystander, and people started shooting, and somebody just shot Takeoff in the head for no reason at all, right? It was like Takeoff was talking to somebody and then heard a commotion and stood up and was like, yo, what's going on? And then ended up getting shot and killed, right? The whole thing was a huge tragedy. So I mean, Quavo is right, man. People do need to figure out how to just put the guns in the hands of the people that's going to use them responsibly, though, right? But since every state has its own gun laws, this happened in Texas. Quavo is, you know, he resides in Georgia, but he was in Washington, D.C. So is it going to be a national thing or a state thing, right? Because it does make a difference. And I guess we'll see what happens. But shout out to Quavo, and yeah, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments.